course, the coronavirus pandemic and the drop in enrollment at colleges across the country are causing some colleges to review the idea of tenure, almost as once untouchable as the issue of Social Security here in the country. And at the Buffalo, New York school, Medaille College, the president there resorted to rolling back the lifelong security that comes with tenure after revenue tanked 15%. The move, of course, is getting a lot of attention as other colleges find themselves facing similar revenue shortfalls. So here to chat that with us today is the president of Medaille College, Kenneth Macur, alongside Yahoo Finance's education reporter here, and Aarthi Swaminathan joining us. President Macur, I guess we'll start on kind of the decision here to roll back tenure. Obviously, the pandemic is making a lot of colleges here face some difficult decisions. Talk to me about how you arrived at this one and how it's being received.
Absolutely, yeah. These are difficult times for the industry. Small private colleges around the country are facing lots of financial challenges. You can say that the industry itself is in financial exigency. When we looked at rolling back tenure, one of the things we wanted to make sure about is that the institution itself would have the flexibility to make financial decisions, which do have personnel and operating expense consequences, to make sure that the school is going to be around for a long time. When we look back at the original intentions of tenure as it relates to higher ed, we go back to 1940 and the AAUP, which talked about tenure as a means of protecting academic freedom. So when we rolled back tenure as just job security, we made sure that the intention behind tenure of protecting academic freedom was solid. And so we put up a lot of walls to do so.
When you look at just higher education as a whole, we have seen some pretty significant changes this year, largely driven by cost-cutting measures, whether that is because of declining enrollment, particularly in international students who do often pay full tuition. How steep has the revenue fall been for you?
Probably about 10-15%. We're still gauging it. One of the challenges of our business is you only get to make money on 3 days of the year. You have a fall start, a January start, and a May start. So we're holding our breath on the January start in terms of new enrollments, especially for our post-traditional side. But these consequences of COVID are showing up. We are seeing a lot fewer students interested in on-ground courses, while our online enrollments are going nicely up to help us cover it. We have somewhat of a balanced portfolio in terms of how we deliver education here from Buffalo.
President, I'm very curious. There has been a divide between the haves and the have-nots, rich schools and not so rich schools, so to speak. So I'm very curious, what is the new model of higher education? I see you're raising your hand. You definitely have something to say.
Well, in the category of not rich schools, you can go look at our 990s. We only have a $1.8 million endowment. So in the grand scheme of things, that's nothing. I used a phrase the other day in an interview that we've been and we will continue to live paycheck to paycheck, unless some generous Yahoo Finance listener feels great about us and wants to give us $100 million, and I will give you the mailing address for that at the end of the conversation. But we really do have a challenge here of being relevant, being flexible, and bringing quality curriculum, quality relationships to the market in a way that the market will respond. And so we're going to need to be flexible on a go-forward basis. And aspects that keep us from being flexible, whether that's legislation, say in terms of getting programs approved, or other internal systems that keep us from reallocating resources, those in the long run do work against everybody's job security.
What about potential collaboration with other universities? That seems to be something that's increasingly gaining traction among some of these education disruptors like a Coursera, who are saying, look, in a smaller town, smaller universities, you don't necessarily need 4 or 5 professors who are teaching the same subject. Why not share some of the resources across the board, even if you're talking about different institutions? Is that something that you've looked into?
Absolutely, on a number of ways. So we're in conversations. We have been in conversations with other colleges about mergers and other strategic alliances. Those conversations will go on for a long time, as far as I can see. Other ways that we collaborate, we already have some fun, great collaborations. One with our neighbor to the north, the University of Buffalo. We're the only school in the region that has a 3+3 agreement with the UB School of Law. So we figured out a way to save students who want to go to law school 1 year of tuition, which gets them out into the workplace faster. We have a 3+1 agreement with the SI Newhouse School of Broadcasting at Syracuse. Same thing. In 4 years, a student can get a bachelor's from Medaille and a graduate degree from Syracuse, saving them 1 year of tuition and getting them out into the workplace 1 year faster. We're also looking at partnering with our local community college, which is SUNY Erie, on ways that we can collaborate on workforce development and industrial technology. So in curricular aspects and then in broader systemic ways, we are Medaille College. I can speak, perfectly candidly, we are looking at those kinds of opportunities every single day.
On the idea of tenure, though, and getting rid of that, I was surprised to learn that it's come down quite a bit since the 70s, now about 30% faculty nationwide on that track versus 70% in the 70s. I mean, if we're discussing at the current moment in time more push for making college free in this country, and you look at costs like that, I mean, in your mind, you guys might be the first to do this, but it seems like that might have to happen at some other colleges there. Is that the biggest cost you think that people should be looking at, or are there other things there in terms of administrative duties that could be trimmed as well? I mean, what did it look like to you?
Well, so one, we're not the first to eliminate tenure. Two, you got to realize that the faculty at colleges like Medaille are not getting rich being faculty. They're doing it for the love of it. So in no way, shape, or form would I say that getting rid of a tenure is in and of itself a cost-cutting measure. But positions in general need to be adjusted when programs no longer have students who are interested. And that's what we did. So we really need to think of it not so much that tenure equals expensive faculty, but it means that we just need to reallocate positions, faculty positions, in order to keep the institution going forward well.
Just a quick last question here. So looking back this period, 10 years from now, how would you describe this period to someone else?
Well, it is a shift. And I think what that shift includes, in addition to moving away from a tenure model, is more schools are moving to clinical faculty and another model called professors of the practice. And over the last couple of years, we've hired some amazing professors of the practice who do not have terminal degrees, are not interested in that, and won't be going for that, and never intended to be tenured. But imagine a criminal justice full-time faculty member who used to be a chief of police for the city of Buffalo. Or imagine a marketing professor who used to be the chief marketing officer for one of the large banks in the region. When we open up our doors to faculty like that with amazing experience, we think we gain the best of both worlds. We get incredible individuals who have a contribution to make, and then our students get invaluable real-world experience from folks who know how the world works.